I've made over $100,000 in mistakes building my personal brand. And $3,000 of that was in an agency that didn't quite work, and almost a year of creating content that got zero directly correlated clients, months guessing about topics to talk about instead of following what already works. And you know what? Every single one of those mistakes was completely avoidable. If you're building a personal brand right now, whether if you're still in corporate, planning your exit, or you've already made the leap, these are 5 mistakes that will either cost you what they cost me, or you'll learn from my pain and skip them entirely. I'm Jennie Lopez, and today I'm sharing the 5 biggest personal branding mistakes I made so you don't have to. So let's go. Mistake number 1, I went pro a little too fast. I wanted to become pro, right? Professional before I knew exactly what worked. So here's what I did. I hired an agency and I spent a lot of money on it, $30,000 to be exact. And I thought, hey, if I just hire the experts, they'll crack the code for me and they'll grow my channel and they'll figure out my content strategy and I'll just show up and be the face. Sounds smart, right? Wrong. You know, we ran out of money. I ran out of money and we truly did not crack the code for me to better grow my channel. Why? Because the reality is that it takes more than 1 year of trial and error measuring analytics and truly doing research to truly crack the code. I hired the agency too fast in my journey. And if I could do it again, I will actually do what I'm doing right now, which is I'm not throwing away money. I'm learning the basics. I'm following up on what's working. I've invested in tools like vidIQ, which has helped me so much. That tool is so fantastic, by the way. And now slowly I know what is working, what is not working, and I'm getting more and more confident on my niche, the areas that I want to concentrate on, where is my ideal client in their journey, and who I'm helping here on YouTube. And I know for certain that these actions are going to compound. And at the same time, I'm growing my business. Ding, 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 ding. And I know that I will get to the point, probably next year, where I can confidently work with an agency and make a significant jump towards my goals. So in summary, figure out what works before you throw money away on hiring an agency. They will speed up the process, absolutely, but you need to know your foundation first. Of course, this is if you're growing the business and need to be cautious on revenue and cash flow. If money is not an issue, by all means, go pro, make it work. But for most of us who are starting out, learn first, then scale. Mistake number 2, too much cheerleading. Woohoo! Ah. You know, I started to be way too empowering, too cheerleading, too you can do it. And listen, I love empowering people. That's what I do. That's literally what I do every day when I speak, when I coach. But here's what was happening. I was not receiving many clients from my social media content, at least not from the people that were new to me. They love the content, absolutely. They comment, this is so inspiring. They will even share it and they will send me a DM saying, thank you, this is exactly what I needed today. But then they'll leave, motivated, thinking that they can do it on their own. And they were missing the point that having a coach is what moves the needle and gives you that push, that accountability, and the wisdom to not walk but run to your next milestone. And this went for almost a year, a whole year of creating content that felt good but really wasn't converting. So I learned to speak about their pain, their problems, their limiting beliefs, the real stuff. And you know what I was afraid of? I thought that I would make them feel sad. I thought, I don't want to be negative. I don't want to bring them down. But you actually need to take them to that come to Jesus moment to allow them to have their own breakthrough and finally get unstuck and go for it. So why would I rub them away from that moment? That's the moment that changes everything. And now to summarize this point, empowerment is great, but if you're not addressing the real pain and the real problems, you're just creating this feel-good content that doesn't convert. Your audience needs to see themselves in the struggle before they can see themselves in the solution. And that's where coaching comes in, to help them bridge that gap. Mistake number 3. I started to think that I'm out of ideas. I already talked about all of this. Why would I talk about it again? And I stopped having these creative insights and wisdom that I will always have. I've been sitting there trying to come up with content and I think, I already made a post about that. I already talked about confidence. I already talked about personal branding. What else is there to say? And then, amigos, I learned something that had me shocked. Literally, what? On average, only 5 to 10% of your followers see your content. And for most accounts, it's literally closer to 3 to 5% unless the content gets strong early engagement or you build a high relationship equity. And let me break it down by platform because this really completely shocked me. Instagram, the reach that you have in Instagram is about 5 to 10%. On LinkedIn, 10 to 20. Best organic reach right now. TikTok is about 10 to 15 only if that video hook is super strong. Otherwise, it's less than 5%. Facebook, 1 to 3% reach. YouTube really depends on the CTR, the topic demand, but impressions are often less than 10% of subscribers. So if you have 1,000 subscribers, only 50 to 100 people are actually seeing your content, if you're lucky. But wait, it gets better. Probably worse, depending on how you look at it. To understand a message, people need between 3 and 7 exposures. This is where the brain finally gets it, right? The reticular activating system start kicking in, they start recognizing the pattern. For a person to take action, it needs about 7 to 20 exposures. This is behavior psychology and marketing research. People take action when the message becomes familiar, the message becomes relevant, the message becomes urgent, and they trust the source delivering it. That's why repetition is not annoying, it's actually leadership in this game. Clarity and it's reinforcement. At the end of the day, people don't buy when they hear it, people buy when they understand it, they feel it, they see themselves in it, and that takes repetition and consistency. At the end of the day, you're gonna get tired of your own content way before your followers do. So talk about it, go and help people and be very intentional, show up so you can grow and find the people that really need your message, not tomorrow, now. Let's go to the next mistake. Mistake number 4, I was guessing on my topics. I sit down, create content and think, what should I talk about today? What sounds interesting? What do I feel like sharing? Does that sound familiar? I was just guessing, hoping that something would land, hoping that something would resonate. And here's what I learned. There are many other thought leaders already working on similar topics who are very successful, and they have spent a ton of time, a ton of money doing research on what actually resonates and helps with the people that they want to help. So instead of guessing, study them, see what works, things that are already validated, and talk about it, but from your own authentic and personal angle, experience, and wisdom. Super important. You don't want to copy them. So for me, I started studying people like Dan Martell, and now Dan spends millions of dollars on his content and marketing and team. Could I compete with that? Absolutely not. But what I learned from that is what he's doing 100%. I look at his topics, his frameworks, his messagings, and then I ask myself, how can I talk about these same concepts, but through my lens, through my experience as a Latina, mom, a former Fortune 500 executive, somebody who has built a 6-figure business from scratch in about a year and a half. And that's when everything changed. So my friends, stop guessing, start studying what already works, then make it authentically yours. I promise this is gonna accelerate your journey, especially when resources are scarce at the beginning. You don't need to reinvent the wheel, you just need to put your unique spin on it. And now the worst mistake, numero 5, number 5, comparison. Oh man, this is so easy to fall into. And when comparison is making you feel bad, feeling that you're too late, that you're already in the trap. You know, when you start thinking, it's too late, already so many people talking about the same things. Why even bother? I'm too old. I came too late to this game. I don't have the resources that these people have, and I will never even compete. Well, this is what's keeping you playing small, and it paralyzes you. And you know who suffers the most? It's not you, it's the people that cannot benefit from your help and message. So think about it, it's not a competition. This is you versus your 5 years ago version. Your growth, that audience that is waiting for you. Comparison, yes, if it's to show what's possible. I started learning about social media from my coach, Dan Martell, who spends literally, like I mentioned before, millions on it. Was that a fair comparison? Absolutely not. However, I learned the basics, the concepts, and then I translated to my chapter right now in my journey. I started asking, okay, with my resources, what is my strategy? Make it a game. It's all about improving, getting better, and helping more people. Enjoy the journey. And even if there are 100 other people talking about what you talk about, remember to be authentic, to be you, your values, your experiences, your own wisdom. That's what separates you and what will help you reach to the right audience that connects with, guess who? You. So stop comparing yourself to others and start comparing yourself to who you were yesterday. That's the only competition that matters. So there you have it, 5 personal branding mistakes that, again, cost me $100,000 in lost opportunity and actual money spent. But here's the thing, I don't regret these mistakes. They taught me what works, what doesn't, and how to help you avoid the same pain. So you're welcome. And if you're building your personal brand right now, learn from my journey. Don't hire many agencies before you are ready and know what works. And don't just be a cheerleader, speak about their pain. Don't stop creating because you think you've said it all already. Don't guess and study what works. And don't compare yourself into paralysis. Remember, your audience is waiting for you, your authentic voice, your unique experience, your wisdom. Now go out and build that brand. And if you found this helpful, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. I share more about real talk, about building a personal brand that actually converts. Now, see you on the next video.